So this week, Deer and Wildlife Stories comes to you from just outside of Woodville, Texas at Prime Acres Whitetails. The white-tailed deer is America's favorite big game animal, and white-tailed deer farming is the fastest growing segment in the agriculture industry. Our program's mission is to dive into the world of deer farming and inform you of how deer farmers all over the country are now using rapidly developing science-based research on their captive deer herds to solve the chronic wasting disease issue through selective breeding. Not only is this new science working, but it's obvious that captive deer breeding is the only way to help save America's deer herds from CWD, which will help improve overall herd health and at the same time can produce more quality trophy-sized animals for the general public. Join me as we discover how whitetail genetics, deer auctions, animal husbandry, and so much more drive the modern-day deer farming industry. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories. Anybody in the deer breeding business that is interested in quality pedigrees knows about this farm right here. This is Prime Acres Whitetails, and they've grown some of the biggest legendary bucks that have reshaped our industry. It's owned by Brad Hassig, and now his son Connor is taking a more active role in the management here.
My name is Connor Hassig with Prime Acres. We are right outside of Woodville, Texas, and this is our deer breeding facility. We've been breeding whitetail for, about 8 years now. We started out with 12. We're a little over 400 now. Right now we have a little over 50 acres in pens. We got 80 or so 2-year-olds that have grown out this year in our pens. We had 161 babies falling out this year, and we have approximately 250 does. Throughout the years, we have grown some really pretty franchise bucks, and we've partnered on quite a few of them. Our biggest yearling we have grown is Money Talks. Of course, we also have Back in Black, Simply Irresistible, Wanted, and this year we're bringing on as a 2-year-old Shoot to Thrill. He's really showing out for us, and we're excited to have him on as one of the franchise bucks. Me and my father have grown this from the beginning. Between building the fence and pens together, we've put up almost every piece of fence out here with me and him. The deer industry really means something to me. I'm honored to help and keep on growing Prime Acres. Our goal is always to breed with the best pedigrees in the industry, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
A cool thing about a deer farm is the way of life, okay? And you got to admit, this is a pretty good way to make a living.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is a cool way of life, and it's pretty fun, but it's a lot of work, and you can't do it alone. Tell them who helps you.
We call them the Ericas. Really great ladies. They both moved from Ohio, had them for 2 years now, and about the best we've ever had. They are gentle with the fawns, and they have more love for an animal than I've ever seen another person. They treat them as their kids pretty much, and they'll live out here with them and stay with them as long as they need to.
The cool thing about them, you can go on Facebook and actually see the videos that they're making to help everybody. I mean, it's just that y'all are very blessed to have help like that. In any business, it's hard to find good help. But on a deer farm, you better have good help. But it's not just the two Ericas. You've got other help too, right? Yeah,
my wife, she helps. She loves to come out. Bottle babies are her favorite thing. Every chance that she can get to come out and work with them, she loves to.
And if you come out here, you can run into Cindy.
Yeah.
And you can run into her little dog. What's her name?
Yeah, old Bella. We call her Feed Dog.
And she lives for this, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. She's been helping us ever since the beginning. 8 years ago when she started, she was feeding them every day. Of course, we went from about 12 deer to a little over, 300, and it got a little rough on us. So for about almost 3 years now, I've been feeding with her every day. And it's kind of our morning routine, She meets me up at the barn. We throw Bella the feed dog up in the buggy, and we load down and head out here to the pens.
And so talk about Rosie, how Rosie helps.
Well, Rosie, we tend to call her Fawn Boss. She's a little bossy, but she likes to make sure everybody's in line when it comes to walking in her barn where her babies are. Not walking in there with dirty boots on. You make sure you leave your boots outside, or you might get a little talk to. Yeah.
Well, everything here, when you come here, everything is like in order. Okay, if you watch the girls work on the deer, everything is so organized and they work so well as a team together. And the cool thing about these girls is they're knowledgeable. This is the time of year right now, it is the third week of August. So the bucks are really basically done growing. They've still got a little bit of blood running in their antlers, and now's the time that we have to be careful of antler infection. And so the cool thing about it is here that the girls are eyes on, hands on, every single day, multiple times a day, catching these deer. And if they do have antler infection, like the one that we filmed them fixing, you know, they'll get a little nick on their antler or whatever, and you got to get to them before the flies get to them, otherwise they'll get infected and they'll have a problem. When we get back, we're going to show you different kind of deer right here at Prime Acres. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by MVP Whitetails, Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics, UVC Power Sports Tractors and Outdoors, and Rafter P Construction. For more videos on deer farming, check out the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and Facebook. So for the last 7 years, Prime Acres has been focusing on whitetail deer. But this year, there's something different. Y'all have so many changes out here. It amazes me. I mean, every year I come and the whitetails get bigger and bigger, but now you've got axis deer. So tell me about these axis deer.
It's kind of just another adventure for us, you know. We have about 20, 25 or so in a pen now, and you know, we just built 4 more axis pens, of course, and you know, we're excited to get some big bucks in, get them on some does and run some pedigrees and see what kind of offspring they have.
Now, Prime Acres has been breeding whitetails, I guess now about 8 years. I've been coming here a lot, okay? And over the years, you've seen some big old whitetails from here, but the fallow deer industry, for those of you who are not aware of, the fallow deer industry about 3 years ago, I guess, blew up. It just came out of nowhere, and now fallow deer are an extremely sought after species. Well, what's fixing to happen is these guys right here, these axis deer, are fixing to be a sought after species. And so at Prime Acres, they are visionaries. They see out in the future, and like, you've got these, and you're going to really practice about the same type of animal husbandry and breeding as you do on whitetails, aren't you?
Yeah, we're gonna really experiment, you know, and get some really beautiful bucks off of them.
Hi, Jolene.
Hi, Jolene.
Come here. Here. Good girl. So this is the future of our axis breeding program right here. So we bottle raised all these girls. They're doing super well. This is exactly what we were going for. The idea is to be able to start AIing some of our axis, and to be able to have a successful AI program, you need tame deer. So these are our girls that we are going to build our program off of. And we're super happy with them. They're doing really well. They kind of come from all over. So we've got quite the genetic variation going on here, and they are very tame, which we are really happy about.
These are a whole lot more gentle than I thought that you would normally see axis deer. I mean, when you put them in a pen, did they have a hard time adapting?
No, and it really shocked us, you know. Of course, the places we visit, they're a little jumpy. Most of our axis, they're not from pens, you know, there's not a whole bunch in pens. We put them in about an 80-acre piece, which is a lot smaller from where they originated from. Then, of course, we trapped them and put them in about a 3-acre piece, and surprisingly, you can drive within, you know, 50, 60 yards of them. But as long as you're calm going in there, they work with you really well. They're really, really great animals, and they're just beautiful.
Well, the cool thing about axis deer in the state of Texas, they're not regulated right now by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. So literally you can move them and buy them and sell them, trade them, do anything you want with them without any kind of permit or even oversight by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. So that's a really big benefit. If somebody wants more information about coming out here to see axis deer or to see your whitetail deer, what do they need to do?
They can just give us a call, you know. We love to show people around.
Okay, the phone number's on the screen right now. Write them down and give them a call. They're located just outside of Woodville, Texas, and you're gonna see some real cool axis deer and some beautiful big whitetails. When we get back, we're gonna show you what's going on with the whitetails. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Big Time Whitetails and Exotics, LE Fence, the Texas Deer Association, UVC Power Sports Tractors and Outdoors, and New Dart. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back. Closed captioning is brought to you by Advanced Deer Genetics. I get often asked, how did these deer get so big? And the answer is that they've got great nutrition. They're feeding record rack. Yep, it takes great nutrition to grow great big deer, but it also takes great genetics. And here at Prime Acres, they've got the best of the best. The pedigrees that they have here on these legendary bucks, they're astonishing because they have stacked the best deer to the best deer for generation after generation. So it's no wonder that when you come out here and you look at the pens, it's just a wow factor. We're in a pen right now with what's going to be the future big bucks of the industry, and we're going to show you some incredible deer, but I want to go over again Back in Black, and then ACDC, and then Money Talks. I mean, you hit me with some other ones. You've had so many big ones.
Yeah, we've got Wanted and Simply Irresistible, and we know we've had Mr. Legit on the farm for about 4 or 5 years now.
And so speaking of Wanted, I want you to take a look at him. He's right there, okay? Well, he's 3 years old now?
Yes.
Okay, and he's got an incredible pedigree, just like every deer on this farm's got an incredible pedigree. So what is his pedigree?
He's a Southern Express Triple X Triple Crown Miss Kitty.
And it's the 3rd week of August. You notice his antlers are kind of drying up. So I heard this morning they said they're fixing to knock him down and cut his antlers off to get him kind of prepared for breeding season,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Okay, well that's cool, because a lot of times what happens is people say, why do you cut the antlers off? Well, the reason you cut the antlers off is to avoid the stress that deer goes through getting rid of that velvet. So later on we're going to show you cutting the antlers off of Wanted. But who's that other big buck?
It's Simply Irresistible. He's another 3-year-old really starting to show out for us.
Look at him, he's beautiful.
Yeah, really tall tines. He's put some width on him this year. If you want a little bit of both, he's got the tine and the width.
Yeah, boy, that's the truth. Now, I want to talk to you about partners. We were up in Indiana recently, okay, up at Lester Eicher's place, and he's got a beautiful SS 2-year-old, and y'all became a partner on that deer.
Yes, we did.
Okay, and then there's another deer up at Hank Corbell's, CC Bar Whitetails. I mean, we've been doing shows with him, and he's got incredible markers on his deer. And so y'all partnered on a beautiful 1-year-old up there too, didn't you?
Yes, sir, we did.
And so when you start looking at these deer like Wanted, and you go back through the pedigrees that were here, the Back in Black and ACDC, Money Talk, all these deer that are here, they've got the best pedigrees in the industry. But what they're doing now is they're partnering with deer that have got incredible genetic markers to breed CWD resistance into these deer, and they're bringing that semen, putting in these incredible pedigrees, and there's no telling what you're going to grow a couple of 3 years from now. You got to be excited about that.
Oh yeah, we're excited to see what turns out of it.
Well, tell me about some of these other guys in here.
We have Shoot to Thrill. He's a new breeder that we brought on this year.
Boy, he's beautiful there.
Really beautiful. Our 2-year-old pen, we had some really big ones, but he just, seemed to stand out the most out of all of them.
You want to tell us the pedigree on him?
He's a Southern Express Triple Crown Freeze Frame Black Beauty. 2-year-old, he's really shown out for us, and we're excited to have him.
I know all the years I've been coming out here, your dad basically gets rid of the deer at 2 years old. But tell everybody why these 2-year-olds across the board, as you look at all these guys, why they're so good.
Well, throughout the years as we, went up in our pedigree, you're bound to have so many that turned out being really gorgeous bucks, but can't keep them all, as much as we enjoy looking at them, seeing how pretty they are, some have to go. And so really proud of all our 2-year-olds. They've really shown out this year. I love a nice tall tine boxy frame buck.
I don't know who doesn't. I mean, these are absolutely beautiful. And speaking of 2-year-olds, we're going to show you another 2-year-old right there, Blue 10.
Yes,
is that
sir.
who that is?
Yeah.
He's beautiful. My gosh, the 2-year-old. What's his pedigree?
He's a Blackjack Unforgiven Southern Express son.
So as of today, do you have any partners on him?
Not yet. He actually belongs to a Mexico client.
So he's not even your deer?
Well, we still own some of him.
Okay.
We partnered on him with that, but haven't advertised him much. We're excited to push him out there. He carries some tall tines on him, so he's
Boy,
really
they ought to be
gorgeous.
happy with him. Look at him. All right, so we just showed you the 2-year-olds, and now we're in the pen of 1-year-olds. And wow, you got some nice ones. So pick out some of the best ones and tell me who they are.
Probably our favorite is a 220. He's a horsepower unforgiven freeze frame yearling that we have, and boy, he's really blown up for us. We're excited to see what he does at 2 next year, but this year he's just really stood out.
Are y'all gonna breed him, you think?
We might draw some semen on him, maybe put a little bit in, but You know, we're excited to see once we pull up all the lineage how we're going to breed everything. You know, he might just fit in some of them pretty good.
Yep. And who else is in here?
One of our 4-year-olds is back in black. He's a blackjack horsepower freeze frame jammer Tasha. He's one of my favorites. He's really wide. Of course, he's really got some big tall tines on him. We have another buck, Mr. Legit, another one of our franchise bucks. He's an older one. We ended up having to cut him, but we'll have some of him from last year. Being at 8 years old, he's done enough to prove himself. He's a ginormous deer. We have another one this year that we've got some partners on named The Fix. He's a XXX horsepower shadow, and he's a real friendly buck, really pretty, and he's got the good numbers. We're actually partnered on him with Keith Warren.
But the cool thing is you look at these bucks, they're all trophy bucks. Every one of them's got an unbelievable trophy pedigree, but their moms are here and their sisters are here. And that's what you can build your deer herd off of. And now, you know, you want to come out here and buy a buck, y'all sell one buck, won't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you also, you really focus on selling groups of deer to people that want to use them for pasture deer. Pasture deer are deer that are going to be purchased. Most of the time, those will be bred. They put them in a pasture, so those genetics are born in the pasture. They can improve the quality of the genetics on the pasture, and they can do it by contacting Prime Acres. Contact Connor Hassig at what phone number?
At 409-200-0400.
When we get back, we're going to go get Wanted, and we're going to cut his antlers off. Y'all stick around. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds, the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, CC Bar Whitetails, and the North American Deer Farmers Association. Now for some great information on fencing from our friends at LE Fence.
Hey guys, it's Ron with LE Fence here. Right now we're getting ready to pound some pipe into the ground, start building our braces. This first pipe right here is going to be one of our gate hinge posts. So we're going to drive this pipe extra deep. We're going to go probably 6 feet in the ground just about. All we're doing is using a hydraulic king hitter attached to the back of a 3-point on our tractor. So right now he just leveled to make sure he's hitting it square. And all he's going to do is just gradually hammer this pipe into the ground until we hit resistance. So here in a minute, it's going to keep going down pretty quick, and then it's going to hit the ground and just start going real slow. That's when we hit resistance, and then when we have solid ground that the pipe's into.
So we've shown you a bunch of big deer and some axis deer, but now it's time to take care of deer that needs a haircut.
We are getting ready to go knock down one of our awesome 3-year-old breeder bucks, Wanted. We're gonna go ahead and cut his antlers off. It's getting towards that time of year. We're gonna get him cut off so he can kind of rest for breeding, and he'll be good to go.
Your dart flies straight and your soul see clearly.
So Erica's gonna push him towards me. I'm gonna wait till a 20, 25 yard shot, and then I'm gonna go for it. And I got a very good shot, and it stuck, so we're gonna wait about 8 to 12 minutes and wait for him to go down.
So he's really starting to slow down over there. We'll wait till his head's all the way down before we go over there to him.
Okay.
He's too wide. Can't get him in the door.
I'm gonna give him some sub-Q fluids while we do this to keep him hydrated.
So we're gonna put some bands on down here just to cut off blood supply. Make sure that's tightened up. We usually just use zip ties for all these smaller points. After this, we are going to go ahead and cut his antlers off using a Sawzall. We have pretty minimal bleeding, which means we had our band where it needed to be, which is good. We'll just put some blood stop on there and that should dry it up pretty quick. So this is Alex Shield. This is this aluminum bandage type thing. It covers, protects, keeps the bugs off, and gives it time to heal. We make sure we get every spot where we cut something off.
We're also gonna trim his feet just so they're even, make sure they look good. Seed and wormer up here, and then some other shots back there. So this is B-complex. This just makes him feel better. It's an antibiotic, and we're gonna give it in 2 different places because it was a big shot. And this is a steroid. Makes him get up better. Oh my.
We're getting close to an hour.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep, let's go.
Let's go. You got the reversal, right?
Yeah, it's in my hair.
Okay, cool.
So we're gonna go ahead and reverse him. Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and take his mask off, and then he should wake up in a couple minutes. All right, so he just popped up. He's a little wobbly just because we took all that weight off his head, but he should be good. We checked our stopwatch, just under an hour, which is perfect. That's exactly what we were going for, and that's how we get it done at Prime Acres.
Well, that wraps it up for today's show. If you've got any questions or comments, you want to contact the Hassig family, you can do so by reaching out on the contact information that appears on the screen right now. Or we'll have a direct link off of deerandwildlifestories.com over to Prime Acres, and you can check them out. Give them a call. They would love to show you their deer, not just the whitetail deer, but the axis deer too. If you'd like to see more of our programs, you can do so by logging on to YouTube and going to the Deer Farming channel, where we've got tons of great deer farming content. My name is Keith Warren. I want to thank you for watching. For more videos on deer farming, check out the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and Facebook.